Africa. We shouldn't be going to other countries. Other countries should be coming to us. Now, if we start having that conversation, then I believe then we can speak about Africa United. But as long as we are running out of our countries to countries that are taking advantage of the resources that are in our country, we can't speak about Africa United. Reality is, if I have problems, if my health system has a problem in South Africa and I go next door, that for me is taking advantage. Because that country has budgeted for the people that are in that country. So we can't speak about uniting. For as long as I can't go for health care in Zimbabwe, for example, I can't speak about Africa uniting. For as long as I don't have the same comfort, the same advantages that I have in my country, in another country, I can't be unfair and be selfish and want to destroy what they already have. So this Africa uniting, for me, it's people that want to leech off. Because reality is, even these people that are saying we can't trade, they don't even have commodities to trade. If you have a product, you are saying I'm making coffee from the back of my factory. I've got a factory somewhere and I can't trade with South Africa. Yes, let's discuss. But reality is, these people that are saying that don't even have commodities to trade. It's a hearsay situation. Reality is, if you've got things that South Africa needs, it will buy. It's already buying. You can there are people that are making chocolates in the comfort of their homes and they're exporting them to other countries. That is already happening. Trading is already happening. So guys, please, let's fix our countries. The same comfort you want that you see next door, create it in your own. It didn't come for free. It didn't come for free. Freedom is not free, unfortunately. And that is what Africans seem to want to almost give other people the responsibility. Reality is, some of you are protesting in other countries when you should be in your country. Nobody is going to save South Africa except me, standing up for South Africa. Thank you, host.
Thank you, Muratiwe. Muratiwe, does your name mean the loved one? I don't know if my Setswana is that good.
Yes.
Okay. And I nailed it. Okay, thanks. Yeah. Before I give any submission, Mesh, you are here. Come ask your question and give your submission, my dear.
Thank you. I think my question is to the panel right now. I think it's pretty diverse. I think my question is, do you honestly believe that Burkina Faso's goal, as it is exactly equivalent to that of your own country? Do you believe that Burkina Faso's current goal is equivalent to that of your country right now? Okay. And then for my submission, I think my sister before me actually really said everything that I wanted to say. I think that Pan-Africanism is an ideology right now. That's all it is. And it's interesting because every single time we have these conversations, the conversation is we need to unite. How? Right? And people like using the EU as an example. But when you look at the EU and the requirements or the benchmark that is needed in order to become a part of the EU, and we use that exact same model, a lot of African countries would not qualify. The thing is, there has been a global shift right now, and countries, because of the bullying of the United States, have become deeply nationalistic. But that's not the same in Africa. We have seen, not all African countries. We're seeing Burkina Faso, we're seeing Namibia, and other countries, but more right now, more than ever, this is where Africans are supposed to be loving their countries more. This is when you're supposed to be fighting for your countries more. This is where you're supposed to be fighting for aggressive nationalism, because until we get that, Pan-Africanism will never happen. There has to be a deep and intentional cleaning up of house in every single country. Every single country has to to put their ducks in order so that when this thing is tabled, which I don't believe it ever will be, but when this hypothetical thing is tabled, people can say, this is what we bring to the table. You cannot say we're going to start governing well when we unite. No, you need to start governing well now. And the other thing about unity is that there has to be values that align. Right now in Africa, I don't even want to talk about values because we are so far apart on that. But we don't have the same goals for our countries. And every single time I hear people talk about, Burkina Faso and how South Africa needs to be like Burkina Faso, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because we are two completely different case studies. Their goals right now are not our goals. When you look at South Africa and its current goals, South Africa is currently South Africa is currently working on being a big player on the global scale, right? That is what we are. That's what our goal is. I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying I align with it. That is just the truth, right? You see that with G7. You see that with our diplomacy. You see that with Ramaphosa and the hands that he's shaking. You see the rooms that he's walking into. You see the deals that are being signed, right? You see how South Africa is being mentioned on every single corner of this world right now, right? What Burkina Faso is doing and what Ibrahim Traore is doing is excellent for his country. So my thing is, unless we can get to a place where every single country sits down and decides what is it that we want for our people and our nation, we can't even have a conversation like this. Because if you put 10 Nigerians in this room right now and ask them, what is the goal of Nigeria at this very moment? Will they say the same thing? The reality is probably not. If you go and talk to people in Burkina Faso and you ask them, what do you think the goal of our country right now is? They will tell you. Why? Because they have a decisive leader. And whether you hate Cupcake or not, I don't care. But we also have a decisive leader. We know where South Africa is going. We know what our goals are. We know what rooms we want to walk into. And we know our position on the global scale. So maybe instead of wanting to be the next Burkina Faso, right? Maybe look at what your country is good at, what your country is valued for, what your country has in value, and then, optimize that. Use that to your advantage. Let us work for aggressive nationalism. Let's work for aggressive personal and deep.
Black and other.
Sorry. Okay. And sorry, I'm wrapping up, host. Sorry. Let us work for deep and intentional love for our individual country and our countrymen, because we cannot come to the table for unity when we can't even unite within our own countries. We are putting the horse before the cart. We can't get to that table yet. People need to look within their own countries. Your country is not the next Burkina Faso. Your country is the country that it is at the moment. You get to decide what you want it to be. We want the next Nigeria. We want the next Mali. We want the next Zimbabwe. Burkina Faso is the only Burkina Faso on this continent, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay. And when everybody has their ducks in a row, then we can come together and say, okay, this is a benchmark. This is what people need to meet. This is the bar that people need to meet in order to come to this table. And the people who are serious about coming to this table, the people who are serious about unity, will work their asses off like Spain did in Europe, because it took a while for Spain to become a part of the EU. But they knew that there was a requirement that was expected of them. And they put their boots to the ground and they mowed that flipping grass and they made sure that they meet those requirements. So which countries in Africa will be able to meet those requirements? When you can't even stand up for your countrymen, when you can't even hold your own government to account, when you can't even hit the streets and march, will you be able to meet these requirements? Let's stop talking about Pan-Africanism as an ideology. It sounds nice on paper. But realistically speaking, a lot of you don't qualify. And maybe even South Africa doesn't qualify. Why? Because this hypothetical requirement or benchmark, doesn't even exist. So if we are going to reach Pan-Africanism, Let us start with aggressive nationalism. Love your country, serve your country, fight for your country, make your country better. Then we can talk about uniting.
Thanks, Mesh.